got their flagship beer. It's called The Core, and it's just a hazy IPA. It looks really, really good. Looks really good. And all right, buddy, cheers. Let's go in for the taste. Wow, that is really good.
Yeah, dude.
That is really good. So, definitely getting a lot of citrus flavor.
Oh yeah.
Also getting a little bit of a piney flavor. Not much though, but there's a little bit in there. But it's pretty smooth.
Yeah, no, very.
And at the same time, it's pretty light too. Like I feel like it's not like really thick. It's not like heavily bodied, but like there's still body to it. You can taste and feel the body of this beer, but at the same time, it's very smooth and it's very light. It's only 6%, so that's pretty cool and it's really good.
This is excellent.
This is definitely like a sit by a fire outside with and just like you can
not too much of an aftertaste.
Yeah, not much of an aftertaste. You can crush these. Like you get a multiple of these. This is an IPA that you can drink all night long. Like if you were to just buy a lot of these and just have it just like a one beer for the night, you can drink a lot of these. It's not bitter. It's light, crisp. It's pretty good. It's really good.
Very, very hazy.
The aftertaste is very floral. I'm getting a floral taste to it.
It is a little bit there, but it's not. It doesn't like linger.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it's really good. So this is their newest beer. This is the Apricot Ripple, and it's a sour. It smells like a sour. Yeah. Like it's got a soury smell. Let's go for it. Wow, that is sour.
Oh yeah,
that is really sour.
Wow,
it's actually pretty good though.
I mean, the flavor is good.
Like the
even the little bit of aftertaste you get with
Have you ever had a sour like this before?
No.
Oh, you've never had a sour?
I've never had sours.
Oh my God! Yeah. So this is his first sour. So this is like a typical sour. This is like
This is what I could expect.
Yeah. I'm not a big sour fan. This isn't something that I can drink a lot of. You know what I mean? So, but like
initial thoughts, I'd probably agree with that. I don't think I'd be like consistently be able to drink this, but like a glass here and there.
Yes, exactly. So that's how sours are for me. Is they're kind of like they're more of like a treat instead of like my go-to. You know what I mean? But I will say one thing. This is a pretty good sour. Like it's pretty good. It's well balanced. It's definitely sour. Like you're definitely getting a sour beer with this. And
I have no other beers to base this off of.
Yeah,
but
it's his first sour. It's
it is
first
good.
Sour. Usually, sometimes I've had sours to where it's just too much.
Yeah.
Like, dude, there are some sours out there that like make your cheeks hurt.
Cheeks pucker.
Oh my God. It's like drinking a melted Sour Patch Kid sometimes. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, but this is really well balanced for a sour. This is a pretty good sour. In the sour category, this is really good.
I can't get past that smell, man. That smell is just like so
good or bad?
No, it's good.
Yeah. When I first had my sour, where was it? Oh my God. Actually, the beer was called Sour Titties. Yeah, that was the name of the beer. It was called Sour Titties, and I was not expecting it to actually be a sour. Someone asked me like, "Hey, have you ever tried a sour beer?" And I was like, "No, I've never tried a sour beer before." So when I first had my sour beer, I was just not ready for it. Like kind of like probably how you just were. Like you were like, "Wow, this is like sour."
Didn't expect that.
You didn't expect this to actually be like sour.
It is good though.
It is good. So sour beers are like a new thing. They're like, you know how like back in the day it was like hazy New England IPAs? Yep. Well, now like a lot of people are getting into sours. This is like, I mean, don't get me wrong, New England IPAs and the hazy IPAs, they're still up there, but sours are right there with them now. So I'd say, hazy IPAs and sours are like the two go-tos for a lot of people. Sours just creeped up into the craft beer world, and they're like, a lot of people are into sours, so. All right, so I'm at Concentric Brewing here. I'm with Dave, the owner. And how long you guys been in business for?
Just since February of 2021.
And
so over a year.
Pretty over a year. And you just made a pretty good list you sent me yesterday in the
Yeah, we're surprised to see it ourselves. We're one of the top breweries in Connecticut by one group, so we're pretty happy about that. Yeah.
That's awesome. So I had their flagship beer, which was the core, and it was really good. It was a nice, light, juicy, crisp IPA that you could just totally crush, but still has enough flavor and body. I mean, it was a pretty well-designed beer. Then I had your newer beer, which was the Apricot Ripple.
Ripple.
Yep. And that was. Now I'm not a big sour fan, but I will say in the sour category, that was a pretty impressive beer.
People are really enjoying that.
Yes,
as well.
yeah. And my buddy Eric that came here today, that was his first sour that he ever had, and now he just wants to try more.
Oh,
so
wow.
that's a compliment.
We usually have one or two on it. At the moment, that's the only one we have on.
Yeah. And right now I'm drinking the double core because I like the core, so I figured
the ABV.
Yeah. So step it up with the ABV and get this double core, and I'm gonna say it's even when you bumped up the alcohol, it's still very smooth. It's still crushable. It's not as crushable as the core, obviously, but I mean, this is a really good beer. You know, this is really good.
Just what you want on a hot summer day like today.
Exactly, a nice crushable beer that's just higher in ABV, especially with your live bands. You know, they're doing they got a good sound out there.
Yeah, they do.
You know, so
my lunch is ready.
Yeah. Speaking of the food, you said that this is a new thing that you guys. When I talked to your chef, he said that when he first started here, it was just that one unit, and you kind of expanded the kitchen.
Yeah, we just within the last week, our kitchen renovation had gotten completed, and the food's great, and people are really thrilled with it, and giving us some great support with it. So
yeah, I mean, it looks amazing. So it's called what's the restaurant? The Graze. The Graze.
It's the name of it's the name of our restaurant inside the brewery.
Yep.
And I'm having some yakitori right now, which is really amazing. So chicken skewers on a bed of pineapple relish, which is really just amazing.
Yep.
Nice.
Pineapple relish, huh? Wow. I might have to order some of that after. I think I'm going to try some. So coming from someone who just opened up a brewery recently, what really inspired you to open up a brewery? Like, was it a business thing? Was it a love for beer? Was it a little bit of both? Like, because the business aspect of craft beers, I mean, it's growing. It's a growing thing, and but I feel like it's also a love for beer too. So were you really into craft beer before you opened the brewery?
All three of us have a history of homebrewing.
Oh, homebrewing, yeah.
So, like so many other Connecticut breweries,
yes.
breweries really, the 7,000, 8,000, 9,000,
they all
homebrew in the U.S. now, has great roots in homebrewing. So, no different with us. We started talking about it, worked on a business plan, and so it was both. It was a love of craft as well as really a business opportunity.
Another thing I want to ask about the home brewing is, I home brew a little bit myself. I have like a little 10-gallon setup anvil.
Nice.
How did you start? Did you get the starter kit from what's that company called?
Mr. Beer. Northern Brewer.
Yeah, Northern Brewer. So that's the one I started with.
The original Brian, our head brewer. The original beer we ever brewed was a Mr. Beer Kit.
Mr. Beer Kit.
That lasted all of one batch. And there's a lot more out there. And really, he went from Mr. Beer to all grain, all in one whole transition.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's.
I saw the Mr. Beer Kit, and I think that one was made with a plastic fermenter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's why I went with a Northern Brewer, because they had the little 1-gallon glass. It looked exactly the same, except it was just made with glass. But I know
a little more advanced kit.
Yeah, a little bit more advanced.
Northern Brewer.
It was only like $10 more, but yeah, I did that, and it was just like a single hops. I made like a Centennial IPA. Just bought like their little IPA kit that comes with the yeast and the hops, and it was like making a box of mac and cheese, really. Just adding in your hops on your hop additions, very simple stuff. But and when I did that, I ended up getting a 10-gallon stainless steel with the chiller, for the fermentation and everything.
Yeah.
So and then that's when I got into making like hazy IPAs. I don't homebrew a lot. I maybe only do it a couple times a year, but it's really fun. You know, it's really fun.
Especially if you keg it, it's a lot more fun. If you're bottling, that's where it really becomes a challenge.
How many beers do you guys have on tap usually?
Always about 14.
14.
We have 16 taps. We dedicate 2 to cider, so 14 taps are usually flowing. Rarely do we have an empty tap, so we try to keep it there. And there's a lot of variety. As we always say on our menu, there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
From fruited wheat beer to a couple of stouts right now.
Yeah.
Multiple IPAs, 3 double IPAs.
Yep.
Which a lot of folks like. And we have an incredibly great brown ale, which is real popular here, as well as our pilsner. The Portland Pilsner's a big hit, nice, refreshing. We have a Kolschan right now that's certainly a great summer beer.
Yep. Nice, light, crisp, crushable. Yeah.
Exactly.
So I have a question. I've never homebrewed a lager or a Kolsch. Is the Kolsch and lagers kind of brewed the same, lower fermentation temperatures? Compared to an ale, I know the fermentation temperature is usually around 60 to 70, around there, but when you do a lager, it's more like in the mid 40s, right?
I think you'd have to really ask Brian about the temps on the lager. When we got our Pilsner, our next batch of Pilsner is lagering right now.
Oh, okay.
It's been there for a couple of months.
It's a longer fermentation process, though, because it's colder and the yeast moves slower. So my question is a Kolsch similar to a lager? Is it at a colder temperature than an ale? Is a Kolsch in the ale category or the lager category?
That's a great question.
Yeah, I don't know.
I always stumbled on that one.
Yeah, they say when you homebrew, you got all these styles of beer, but there's really only 2 beers, and it's either ale or lager.
Right.
It's really only an ale or a lager when it comes to brewing beer. You got any upcoming events? Anything you want to tell these people what's coming up?
Yeah, next month we'll have the lightest day, kind of a take from our darkest day we had on this winter solstice, which was an incredible event where we had the place was bad, inside, outside, even though it was winter. We had a couple fire pits going. The brightest day will be kind of the reverse of that. Instead of dark beers, it will be a bunch of lighter beers for summer, and instead of having candlelight in the tap room, all the lights will be up, and the first 100 people are going to get sunglasses. So
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And so it'll be the time to celebrate some really light, refreshing beers for the summer.
Yeah.
And, so that'll come up on the summer solstice, which is a Tuesday, which we're not normally open, but we'll definitely be here and having a good old time that day.
Yeah.
So the best way to learn of any of those events is to follow us on our social media, whether it's Instagram at Concentric_brewing or Facebook even. So we post 5 or 6 times, 7 times a week. Great way to find out what's happening here at Concentric. So the next upcoming event will be a fun one. We have a cigar dinner. By the time this,
I saw that.
By the time this airs, it'll be past. But this week we have.
Wow, that's really cool,
yeah.
man. So that, from what I'm grasping from Concentric is you guys always got stuff going on. They got great beer. It's a great atmosphere. The interior design in here is really cool, and I really appreciate you having me here today. It was nice meeting you, man.
Corey.
Yeah,
thanks
Dave.
for coming in. And
yeah. So Concentric Brewing, this place is pretty cool. You guys got to come here, man.
Thanks. Be here.